Hi and welcome to episode 96 of the This Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law. I'm the founder of This Reportage and the Reportage family, and I'm a photographer too. A real pleasure to have the fab Kevin Kheffache on the podcast today. As well as being a brilliant wedding photographer with 11 Reportage Awards and a Story Award to his name, Kevin is also the co-founder of Doc Day with his wife, Annie Kheffache. It's an honour to have this reportage partnered with Doc Day, the conference that's all about documentary, and I was lucky enough to have been asked to speak at the inaugural event. It was brilliant, and I can't wait for Doc Day 2022, where speakers include two of our This Reportage photographers of the year, Fabio Mirulla and Liam Shaw of York Place Studios. Kevin shares so much in the episode today, including how he came to be a photographer, how Kevin and Annie got the idea for Doc Day, wed-aches, whether there's any competitiveness between himself and his very talented wedding photographer wife, Annie Kheffache, our Netflix synopsis game, his personal highlights of the conference, what he's looking forward to most about Doc Day 2022, and much more. There are just a handful of tickets left for Doc Day 2022 now, which has the fab date of 22nd of the 2nd, 22. Grab one of the last tickets at docday.international. Anybody can buy a ticket, of course, but This Reportage members have an exclusive discount. Just log into your account and visit the members area to get the exclusive discount code. I'll be there and I can't wait. Hopefully see you there too. Right, over to Kevin. Hey Kevin, how you doing?
Hey Al, really good. How are you doing?
Yes, really good as well. Cheers, really good. I don't know why I've always been starting with the weather on these podcasts at the moment, but I might as well continue that trend, and it is absolutely chucking it down here in Cornwall. How about with you?
Yeah, same thing in Dublin. I'm absolutely bucketing. It's warm though, which is nice. It's not. It's kind of that almost tropical with 12 degrees in the rain. It's tropical.
That is super tropical, man. Yeah, it is true though. It's mild at the moment, isn't it? It's mild down here as well. It's good. Right, dude. Okay, let's go off the weather already. But yeah, how has things been this season so far for you? Have you been shooting hopefully a lot more than last year?
Yeah, we've been. Sorry, I'm gonna keep doing this, Alan. I'm gonna keep saying we because I talk about myself and Annie, who's my wife and also wedding photographer. But yeah, we've been at it since we've done about 45 since March, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, awesome. So it's been really, really busy, and obviously that was in a much more concentrated time frame than it would have been in other years when things kind of reopened here. And it's been really good. It's been great to get back into it. It's been really tough. I find like readjusting the gears, going from doing absolutely nothing to kind of having a backlog, and also kind of even on a physical level, the stamina on a wedding day, dealing with the day after wed-ache or whatever it's called, the hangover.
I've never heard it called wed-ache. That's good.
I've heard wed-ache. I've heard there's another one people say. It'll come to me later. But yeah,
that wed-ache is what I always thought rhymed with your surname, but I was totally wrong.
If it was wed-ache.
And when you say you're doing like 45 or so, I mean, do you ever shoot the same wedding together, or are you always doing your individual wedding?
I should say whenever. Yeah. So no, 45 is what we shot together. We've our workflows are fairly intertwined at this stage, so it doesn't necessarily mean that I went to 45 weddings either. Annie was at some of them. I on her own. I was at some of my own, and we probably maybe half. We shoot maybe half together.
Oh, that's cool.
And we shoot separately, and then we shoot with other second shooters as well. Especially with all the postponements and readjusting, dates. We've had to, where we were booked to shoot together, we've had to kind of split up and do that kind of more. Yeah.
And how do you like shooting with Annie? Is it? I can't, I always ask this because I just find it a very interesting subject when kind of people who are together like romantically and married also shoot together. What's it like? Is it fun?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good. I mean, it's obviously we've been doing it for years, and so we know where to go and how to be, and who's taking a particular scene or section as a first or a second. We don't tend to be first shooter, second shooter. I think it was like that at the start a little bit more, just because that's how we saw it done, and that probably was less fun than now, because there was that kind of responsibility. Whereas now we're fairly relaxed. We don't. Everyone always asks if we have fights and stuff, and then we really don't. It doesn't. We're only together really, in terms of sitting there chatting. For certain parts of it, in the morning, obviously we're apart, and then during the ceremony, we're not sitting around having cups of tea together either,
No, that's true. That would be a bit
And so
strange.
and when we shoot on our own, the dinner part, when you sit down for 3 hours and you tend to be just on your phone or on, that's really
3 hours? How long are meals in like Irish weddings?
Is that unusual over there? Well, it's different. So we could, let's say they call for dinner at maybe 5:30, 5:30. It's all a little bit different now as well with the the restrictions and so on. But 5:30, and then you wouldn't often see people having a first dance until 7:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh no, I guess it's yeah, that's true. And whilst we're talking about you two shooting together, though, because I had a question here I was going to ask. Obviously, you're both like kind of top class wedding photographers, and you're both in our top 10 Ireland photographers 2020. Congrats about that. And you both submit to other awards as well. So I was just going to ask: is there ever any kind of competitiveness with each other at all?
There is, but it's not in a kind of in an unfriendly competitive way, we both obviously, like, it's a family business, so if we both do well, we all do well,
Yeah, sure.
But and the funny thing is, I think we both think each other is the better photographer.
Oh, that's cool.
That kind of, and that sounds, but that sounds very cliche. But I think all photographers think other photographers are better photographers.
So true, definitely.
In some ways. So I guess we see that magnified ourselves because we're so familiar with each other's work. But there's no kind of like I've got I don't know how many TIRs I have or you have, But at the same time, there is friendly joking. She outranked me there. Is it this year, I think?
Oh, yeah, in 2020. Yeah.
Only if you sorted it by recent, I think it was,
Okay. That's funny. Oh, it's funny. I just love hearing about all those kind of things, man. It's awesome. So very, very cool. And it's good that you've been shooting a lot more this year. What was 2020 like for you guys? So obviously with the pandemic, how was it for you kind of personally and business wise?
It was tough. I mean, both of us being full-time wedding photographers meant, we were both in the same kind of boat. So it was like we were fine, and health-wise and family-wise, we're all great. And we had a baby, so we weren't, we did that.
Wow, it's a big thing.
Say it again.
That's a big thing. Yeah, it's a cool thing to return to the pandemic.
Yeah. Taking a break from weddings to make it human. So I mean, that's tough, and just that alone was tough. And then work-wise, it was the uncertainty around not knowing when it was going to end, I think, was a big stressor. But to be honest, Alan, I feel really bad saying this sometimes because I know there was so much shit out there. But I kind of look back on it as a largely positive kind of, we did have little Joshua come along. He's our second, Max. It was tough with the homeschooling and that side of things, pushing you kind of as a parent or whatever. But again, largely positive all the time we spent with them. I took a load of photos, obviously not wedding photos, but personal photos. So that was a plus. We moved house. Yeah. So.
Oh, wow. You did loads of things then during the pandemic, really?
Well, we spent all this time, And it was time that we knew we weren't going to get. That's what I was saying earlier about readjusting the gears a little bit. You were kind of looking back on it now. Not that we want for 1 second to go back into it, but thinking, God, I hope I took as much advantage of that, as I needed to have,
That's true. I know. I just imagine being in your back because you're both photographers, and that's, I guess that's semi-rare. A lot of couples, most of the time, it's just the one that's a photographer. So you're both self-employed, both in the wedding industry. Is that not like extra stress, extra scary, where the income's going to be coming in?
Yeah, it was. It was, but I got an interesting gig as a photography coach about. It was early this year, or March this year.
Oh, cool. What teaching? Where? What doing?
Yeah, so it was weird. So I was working for, I presume it's okay to say all this, but I was working for Facebook.
Oh, cool.
They have like an employee program where, and I guess with everyone working from home, it was largely pushed online. So they had a Facebook group, and I was the coach within that group, and people would submit photos for themes and challenges and critiques and competitions, and so I effectively ran that, which,
that's cool.
to be honest, kept everything afloat whilst we were doing nothing else, and then we had the state aid as well. When they were good in Ireland in that respect. I mean,
were they okay?
I'm saying that relative to other countries, it didn't. We could all have done with more and all that, but they were quick to just hand out the unemployment benefits and.
Okay, cool. I was lucky as well over here, and I got some support as well because not limited. So that was, that was good. Well, that sounds cool though, that teaching thing. Are you still doing that as well?
I'm doing it till the end of the year. Yeah, it's been really good. I actually was it last night? I had Fabio Mirulla giving a talk to the guys about light and that, and Roland's coming on to do one in November. Roland Palliser.
Nice
Podcast. Yeah.
Yes, he's going to be on the podcast. So by the time this episode goes out, he would have already been on. Yeah. So, that's cool. Oh, cool, man. That's cool. Well, you're doing loads then to do with coaching, because obviously, as well as your own photography, yourself and Annie are the founders of Doc Day, the absolutely brilliant documentary wedding photography conference held in Dublin, Ireland. So, yeah, can you tell us more about that? How it came to fruition, how you got the idea, and then created such an awesome event?
Yeah. How it came about, it was we were actually, and you're a big part of this, of course. This is an interesting backstory, I suppose. We were at a conference Kevin Murphy organises, who's a This Is Reportage member down in was it Cork? I think it was Cork. God, sorry, Alan. Sorry, Kevin. I don't know. And we were just having pints. We were at the after party, and I was chatting. I just met with Darren Kerwin, who's been on the podcast and who's great. He's a photographer down Limerick, neck of the woods, which is also where the conference was on. And we just had a really good chat together during the evening. And it was kind of later on, we said, we should do this again. We should meet up for pints. And we ended up talking a lot about all things documentary, not just weddings photography, but just documentary in general, and really enjoyed it. We said we should do it again. We should meet up for pints and bring the other guys. So then we messaged Shane O'Neill, who's also a member, and a few of the other guys from This Is Reportage, and said, look, we're thinking of meeting up for just drinks and chats, and reached out to you. Do you remember this?
Yeah, no, I remember you phoning and talking. Yeah.
And so reached out to you and said, well, look, we're meeting up for drinks. It's only a Ryanair flight away. Do you want to come over? And you said, yeah, absolutely. Be over in a shot. Yeah. And then so got on to the other guys and said, we're doing this. Alan's coming. And I think Shane either misunderstood deliberately or not, but he said, are we just meeting for a chat and pints, or is there going to be tops and pints? And so then it was like, Jesus, will we organise somebody to come up on stage? And at that stage, thinking there might be, when I say stage, I mean, a room with 12 people in it, we get somebody to do a talk.
Yeah.
And it just went from there, Al, to, well, let's just do it properly and kind of reach out to people who we'd be interested in hearing talk. And so Shane O'Neill was one of them. He was he's been documenting wedding photography in Ireland before such a thing existed.
And he did a great talk on the day as well.
He's so good. He's so good. And he was very much the guy that myself and Annie would have been following early on, in terms of how he was shooting weddings. And then we just populated the rest of the list really with, well, you, because
yeah. You had scraped the barrel. Everyone else had said no. That's it.
No, not at all. Well, it was the This Is Reportage partnership was huge because. It gave us a bit of an anchor in terms of speakers. It kind of makes sense to have Sana up there, and the This Is Reportage community was very much where myself and Annie, felt like we were comfortable. It's when we had our little clique of friends and we knew, and in real life outside of just in the Facebook group or whatever. And so we just kind of stuck with that, and we populated it with people that we would just purely selfishly love to hear talk. We reached out to Ian Weldon. We'd seen him talk a few years beforehand and loved what he had to say about it. And it was before he'd really, I think that he'd just published a book. He was just about to publish his book, I'm Not a Wedding Photographer.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Once he published it, he was on CNN, BBC, and he went through the roof. But he agreed to do it just on the basis of, why not, before that. And so that worked really well in our favour in terms of having a non-wedding photographer speak there, and in the Martin Park connection and the document. So it worked really well. So yeah, we just decided let's do it properly. And
but when you made that decision, though, let's do it properly, wasn't that? I could kind of, I've never, I'm not, obviously I have no real experience of proper big event planning. Obviously we have the TIR Christmas party, but that's not a big conference and talking. So I just can't imagine where I'd even start. Was it scary? Had you organized anything even similar before? Because you're the president of the IPPVA, aren't you? So you had some experience, I guess, in events and stuff?
No, I'm ex-president.
Ex-president.
Yeah. But no. Well, sorry. So yeah, my background, I guess, would have been business. I ran my own company for a while, and we were organizing not events, but I'd be used to project management, so we say. So I wasn't intimidated by it. And to be honest, we didn't set it up to sell 100 tickets. We kind of thought, look, if we look at the cost and if we do it nice and cheap and keep it simple, then the only kind of risk is that no one will turn up to the party, but if you never have if you had that kind of attitude, but then you'd never put together a party, right?
That's true. I mean, I always feel like that with a TIR party, though. It's scary putting it out there and just it's like having a house party when I was back at uni, isn't it? Just wondering if people are going to turn up and stuff. So
it's one of the most fun parts of the whole process. Was when we did put the tickets live and people started buying tickets. I don't think people realize that, whenever I buy anything online, I never really think of what goes on afterwards. But it was so fun seeing tickets being sold. And then you'd click into the Squarespace link or whatever, and you'll see the name of the photographer. And cool. When we Fabio Mirulla buying a ticket, it's like, what the hell? Fabio Mirulla's coming to our party. The same with Eve Shepherd. It was really, really fun seeing it come together like that,
That's proper cool, man. Oh, and it was such an awesome day and awesome night as well. It was so good. Absolutely loved it, and can't wait for this year's, or it'll be next year's now, 2022. What's the date for next one?
Sorry, I'm stuttering because of the date, not because I don't know. 22nd of the 2nd, 22. So 2222.
Oh yeah, of course. It's such a cool day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great idea, but it turns out everybody's booked things for that date because of the date.
Oh, right. Yeah. Man, I honestly, I can't wait. I just so loved it. It had such an awesome feeling about it. This is the whole day as well. I was nervous a bit in the morning speaking, but after that, just proper relaxed. And then such a great party in the evening.
You were such a diva when I asked you to speak, and you sent me your list of requests and blue M&Ms, but the number one request was that you wanted to go first.
I know, I just wanted that, get out of the way, but your wife had dibs on that, definitely.
Yeah, but she was short, so you only had to wait a little bit, and then you're like a different person after the talk.
Oh, was I different? Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. I remember that the night before we were having that meal, I was just so nervous even then the night before, man. But that's just me being mental. But what it must have been awesome that first morning when you kind of did that introduction to see everyone there, like, that whole cliche of like you built it and they came, but it must have been an awesome feeling to see that and experience it, something that you'd created.
I'd forgotten about the night before, even that dinner that we had together with Ian and even that was really, really nice. But then, a funny thing, so we started off the day with the intro video, or it was a countdown, and then it went into the intro video, and I had, I was going to walk on and do the MC bit, and I was so enjoying that moment of watching from the back, all the heads and everyone in the room watching that really cool video that the Richters put together for us who are speaking in 2022, that I forgot to go up on stage I had like a cue. And then I ended up having to kind of run up a little bit, which felt, I don't know, very David Brent or something. But yeah, it was really cool seeing it all come together. And like that, as the day went on and I had less and less to do, it got better and better and better. Because, it's like, okay, this is all going so well. I can just sit back and enjoy it rather than working at it in inverted commas, that kind of way.
Yeah, because it must have been so much work beforehand, and stress as well, and obviously putting your own money into it as well. It's a big deal doing something like that, and to see it just go off and be such a success it's just awesome, man. It's really
thanks, Al. No, and it was and it was as much Annie as it was me, but it was also very much down to to you guys, and in terms of this reportage and how much support you gave us, but also the speakers. Like there was such a positive. When I asked Shane, he was to do the talk, just 100% yes, no, whenever you want, tell me what you want me to speak about. And it was, and the same with Jay, who was talking there.
He was fab.
And Jay's, as soon as Jay's talk was over last year, I was 100%. Can you just book in the date for next year?
Oh, that's cool.
Back. He's on the lineup too.
It's worth going just to see Jay and his jumpers.
100% agree. I got to spend a few days with him up in Donegal at his retreat.
They're learning to fly.
Learning to fly, yeah. Jay is a national treasure. If you are looking for a retreat, if you're listening to this, a few days of just kind of calm after the storm, you should definitely check out Learning to Fly.
That's cool. Very cool. Cool, man. Let's change that. We'll talk more about Doc Day in a bit, but let's change tack just for the meantime.
This is a bit. This is a bit where not that it's gone right up to now, but this is the bit where it goes terribly wrong.
No, it's going to be an easy bit. It's going to be an easy bit, man. We're just gonna. Do you watch many movies or series, Kevin?
I do.
Good. So you've heard some podcast episodes before, so I've just been doing this. I'm not even going to ask you if we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
It's just so bad. I was practicing this morning.
Oh, good. Were you?
I swear to God, this is how, I told you I was nervous coming into this, but that's how bad I was.
Oh, that is funny. That's funny. That must be hard to practice for, though. So there's so many things.
I was trying to find the ones that I've listened to before and gotten scrubbed to the end or to the part where you were asking about them and seeing what kind of topics, Oh,
okay, cool. Okay, so you know this Netflix synopsis game where I'm going to ask you. Okay, cool. So anyone listening at home, I'm going to ask Kevin a few synopses. There might be movies, there might be series, and we're going to see if you can get it. And you can play along at home. And there are 0 prizes to be won, but it is fun. Okay, you ready for your first one?
How many are there?
There's only three. Yeah.
And what's an average score?
Average score is probably 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll aim for mediocrity.
Okay, let's go for it. Aim high. Okay, man. So this first one is a movie. Okay, so maverick teacher John Keating uses poetry to embolden his boarding school students to new heights of self-expression.
Oh, it's the Robin. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
No googling.
No, yeah, you'll hear me typing, won't you? Annie had it in her talk. She opened up at Doc Day last year. She opened up with.
I wonder why, if that's why I've partly put it in out of all the things. Maybe that was like
Dead Poets Society.
Yes, boom.
Oh, geez, that would have wrecked. Okay, there's my one in the bag. I'm happy with
that. Good one, man. Good. That's a great film. That's a cool film. It's cool. Okay, ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a movie as well. This is similar-ish time, probably, or around that time. Anyway, so a sole survivor tells of the twisty events leading up to a horrific gun battle on a boat, which began when 5 criminals met at a seemingly random police lineup.
It's my favorite film. I was only talking about it the other day, and I haven't watched it for about 10 years. The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, is it really one of your favorite films?
100%. I was just saying to Annie, it's crazy that I'll watch repeats of nonsense on Netflix, and I won't watch a repeat of that, even though it's my favorite film. We planned to watch it, but Succession came on the other night, so we watched that instead. Okay.
I've only seen it once, actually. It is a good film, though, isn't it? It's a good film. It's Kevin Spacey, isn't it? It's Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Well, you got 2 out of 2 so far. It couldn't go any better. That's weird, though. That's one of your favorite films, and
it's weird that people are going to think this is set up. That the first one had a reference to Annie's talk.
Yeah, honestly, I know. Yeah, it's weird. That is weird. It's not set up, people. It's not set up. That's set up.
I get the third one deliberately wrong.
This is probably maybe a bit tricky. I don't know. This is an old series. Okay, it's an old series. So, but okay. Comedy that follows 2 brothers from London's rough Peckham estate as they wheel and deal through a number of dodgy deals and search for the big score that'll make them millionaires.
The Only Fools and Horses?
It is, yes, boom.
Patrick.
Nice, man. 3 out of 3.
Yeah, they were easy.
Wow, they're only easy if you know them. They're only easy if you know them. Well done, man. That was good. No, that was good.
I don't care that there's no prizes. When you said it at the start, I didn't care because I didn't think I was going to
I know. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I should start doing some prizes, shouldn't I? Yeah. Do this Reportage t-shirts as well. You've already got this Reportage t-shirt. Anyway, you can't get a bigger prize than that. So.
No, I did. This is it. I wore that the day Joshua was born.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Threw it on in the morning.
That's really nice. Just so like any kind of like snot or sick had something like really that you don't really care about to be thrown up.
You could look at it that way, I guess. Or that I honoured your
yeah, let's go with yours. We'll go with the way you say it. We'll go with your way. So Kevin, let's go back to your photography. And I read that your first real accolade came from my secondary school's annual photography competition for a photo of my pet dog, Dougal. And that when you were 10, you used to sometimes hang out with your next door neighbor who was an amateur photographer. So can you tell us about those things and how you came to be a photographer?
Yeah, it feels like it feels a little bit disingenuous having that, because I feel like it kind of implies that I've been taking photos since way back then, and I didn't. There was a big, huge gap in the middle where I didn't. But my next door neighbor was a retired older gentleman, and he had a dark room in his attic, and he kind of brought me into it. It was film, obviously, and it was black and white. And the school I was in had a competition. I think I was maybe second year or third year. So kind of, I don't know, 13, 14 or something like that. And I entered a picture that I took of Dougal, the Cocker Spaniel that we had as a family pet growing up. And this isn't the part where I get weepy about the fact that Dougal's no longer with us, Alan, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And so that won an award, and I was thrilled with myself. And
nice.
But then, as soon as I left school, I didn't really touch a camera again for years. Or not in a kind of consistent photography kind of way,
So then how did you get into, how did you become a photographer now then? What was your job beforehand and stuff?
Yeah, so when I met Annie, it was like 12 years ago. I had a kind of medium-sized company. I had a little chain of language schools. We were teaching English to adults and kids. So earlier when I was referencing the doc day thing, we would, during the summers, we would take over, say, universities in terms of accommodation, and we put groups of kids in there and teach them English for the summer. And then we had year-round centres where we do that on a longer kind of term basis with adults. Annie was a solicitor at the time, and she wanted out of corporate law. She referenced this in her talk, and found just an outlet in wedding photography. And I, having had the kind of background in photography as a hobby, was just helping out, I suppose, just kind of going along second shooting with her for the photography. And I guess you get sometimes I was a paid second shooter, but probably more often in the beginning than not. This is 2014. I was checking out the dates before.
Okay, cool.
I'm awful at dates. I can never remember, so I had to do the homework beforehand. So we're back in 2014, and like I said, I was doing it just for the crack, just to enjoy it. And as a second, yourself, you have a lot more freedom to kind of shoot to play. I suppose I went from there. Then when we were setting up Annie's business, finding the whole documentary wedding photography. Wedding photography was very new to me, and I didn't realize there was a whole subgenre that was, documentary or photojournalism or whatever. And that was cool, because that opened up, I suppose, a whole other way of, hang on, this could be an actual thing. And then it reconnected me, I suppose, with, I love documentary and street photography, outside of weddings. And so I got back into reading photo books and that side of things. And then just eventually, I suppose, over time, second shooting. I did a brief stint in video. We were shooting with 5D 3s, I guess, at that stage.
Oh yeah.
And they're lovely video cameras. And just as people were asking Annie, do you know any videographers? Again, just for the enjoyment of it, I said, I'll give video a try. And also, we're getting a payday then, because I was doing this whilst working with my full-time job, which hadn't get jumped out of weddings completely at that stage. And the company that I had at the time was kind of coming to an end. And I say that very nicely. There was a bit of a kind of 2 year of a shitstorm, which we came out absolutely fine. But it kind of took about 2 years to sort out and extract myself from it. And I guess the wedding photography, or just photography, gave me a bit of an escapism from that, you know. And then following on from that, I guess with the documentary stuff, finding this is Reportage or you know, or similar. We won't mention any of the competition associations. And then I mentioned earlier, learning to fly. That little finding then on top of that, this whole community of people who are really, really nice people. I don't know, you know, I coming from an entirely different industry, there was a very different relationship I had with my inverted commas competitors than we have. Certainly I have, myself and Annie have in Ireland.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Really interesting to hear, actually.
A good bunch of supportive people. And then it was a case of, well, hang on a second, like, this is a job I love. It's really well paid. And it's the people who are now my friends in terms of, you know, that network that you guys and Jay and Doc Day as well has put together, you know. And so, yeah, I just decided I'm not going anywhere away from this for a while, you know.
That's cool, man. And that's really cool to hear, and really interesting to hear as well. I guess Annie must have been super supportive of you, you know, going solo as well and having your own photography business then.
Yeah, she was looking at it from the point of view of someone who was had done a complete flip-flop in her career and was looking at it going, this is amazing. Why would you not do exactly the same as this and come over? And I didn't, by the end, I really enjoyed the language school business and it was really good to me. But by the end of it, I was just looking at Annie getting well paid for her hobby. And I was saying, that's a no-brainer. You know, I was also doing a lot of traveling with the other stuff which I wanted to knock in the head. We'd gotten married, and Max was along, our 6-year-old now. Yeah.
It was the time, yeah. And it's so cool. We are, as you say, we're so lucky to be making money from kind of our love, our passions, and also, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like the friendliness of the scene and the friendliness of the community. When I began my photography, like back in 2012, I thought it was going to be so guarded, you know, people not wanting to talk to me, but it's just the opposite, and it's really cool that way, I think.
I feel like I just missed that, maybe by kind of 4 or 5, in Ireland, maybe, you know, it's in different places, but there seems to have definitely been, again, referencing Jay Doherty from Learning to Fly, when he came into it, which is a few years before me, he found it very, very cliquey, and you almost felt like you had to be, you know, allowed into the industry.
Oh, really? Okay.
I feel like we just missed that, and I'm glad I did, because it's a lovely place now, you know.
Oh yeah, super. No, it's great. Yeah, really good. I remember when I started, I just reached out and just asked if people wanted to meet up, and people were just local photographers down here, and people were just well up for it. It was great. Yeah, really cool. So let's talk about Doc Day again, Kevin. And what was your personal highlight of Doc Day? What was your personal highlight or highlights?
Long pause that you'll have to edit out, Alan.
That's okay. We can make it even longer if you want, so it's easier for me to find.
No. Like, it was 100% Annie's talk. We did so much work on it. Sorry, I say we. She did, but by the end, I was completely involved in it as well, you know, and so I was completely invested in it. And I knew it was going to be really, really well received, but I could see as she was giving it that it was it received even better than I think either of us thought it would. And so that was awesome. Seeing that was really, really cool. And
what a great talk to open it all up as well.
Yeah. You know, that's a difficult, I know, like, you're joking about it, but that's a difficult.
I'm not joking.
No, sorry, joking about wanting to go on first.
Oh, right.
It's a difficult slot because it does kind of set the tone for the day, you know? And yeah, so, and the fact that it was such a strong and well put together talk, I think was, 100% the highlight. Other cool highlights, seeing all the Belgians hanging out of the rafters in 4 Dame Lane in the party afterwards, that was surreal.
Cool. That whole party was just awesome. Are you having that band again?
Yeah. He's a good friend of mine, Jesse.
Oh, cool. The main singer guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks like Ross Harvey as well, I thought.
Oh yeah, he does actually, now that you say it.
Yeah, he does. Oh, that's cool. They were great, that band as well. That was cool.
Yeah, they're the Suitcase Trio. Yeah, they're booked again for next year.
Oh, that's cool. Do you ever photograph them at weddings? Do you come across them at weddings then as well?
The odd time. I actually train with Jesse, so I see him in the gym a little bit.
You sang with him?
Pardon?
You sang with him, did you say?
No, I train with him.
Oh, train with. I thought you said you sing with him.
Never sang with him. Jesus.
Okay, what kind of training?
I train Jiu Jitsu.
Oh, do you? Oh, wow, gosh.
Yeah, but if we go down that route on, the entire rest of the conversation will be about Jiu Jitsu, and nobody knows what he wants.
But how long have you been doing that for?
About 12 years.
Really? Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, don't mess with Kevin.
Obsessed with it. I will spend my YouTube channel is just videos of old matches and stuff. Yeah.
That must be great for your overall fitness though as well, and confidence must be good for, I guess.
Yeah. It's a very cerebral thing. Oh, we're talking about it now. But anyway, it's. I know everybody says that every sport is like human chess or whatever, but the genuinely is. It's such a complicated and beautiful game.
Really?
And yeah, 100% physically it's great for you, and mentally having something like that you can go and just kind of completely switch off from everything is it's been really important.
It's important to have that in your life, isn't it? Something that does give you that kind of, I know people use that word, that flow or whatnot, but just that kind of escapism as well, and just it is so good.
Yeah.
How often do you do it then? Do you do it every week?
I'll aim for kind of twice a week, and if I get twice a week, I'm happy. And then the odd week, maybe it'll fall down to once. But then the odd week, maybe I'll get a sneaky weekend session in too. It's as I'm getting older, it's getting harder, obviously, to be going in and
but even more important to be doing it in a way, I guess, as we get older, really. Yeah. And it must keep you tip top for your weddings. Then you might not. I guess you don't get as much of a wed-ache as maybe some other people do, because you must be pretty fit.
I cannot figure out that. I've been really fit and gotten really bad wed-aches. I haven't remembered the other name for that yet. And then I've been a mess after lockdown and not gotten them. I don't know. I was telling someone over the weekend, two-man, I heard them talking about MCT. Have you ever tried that? Multi-chain triglycerides. I keep hearing about this as a thing.
What is it?
I think it's multi-chain triglycerine or something like that. Okay. They said they swear by it.
What, some kind of supplement?
Yeah. I'm tempted to Google it, but I don't. You just think I'm on Facebook.
Oh, that's funny. I used to get, before I switched to the mirrorless, I used to definitely feel it more after a wedding. But I think that was a big deal, just changing to lighter cameras, actually. And having the weight around my waist, with the spider holsters, that's helped me, definitely.
So what your setup is one on your shoulder and one...
Info for Eve shippers.
Siri wants me to ring Eve shippers.
No, I just have, I've got the spider holster and just got two around my waist, okay. So nothing over my shoulders at all. What about you?
I've gone largely to single camera if for that exact reason, just trying to avoid the weight. Yeah, and mirrorless as well, although I end up with a 24-70 on it then a lot of the day, and so it's still fairly heavy, but I find that has made a big difference to my back.
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah, I agree. Getting the spider holster for me, a big difference to my back. Yeah, and I try and stay fit as well.
You're super fit.
Well, no, I'm okay. I just do free weights at home, and honestly, I mentioned on a podcast a few episodes ago, but I've got this like under desk cycle thing now, which is great. So I can just be working on my laptop and cycling underneath the desk, and it's just really good. Stay kind of.
I think I knew you from TIR obviously before we met face to face, and but also from Facebook, and I just saw all your posts about McDonald's when I saw you when you were really ripped. I think. I did not expect that at all.
That's so funny. I guess I do talk about McDonald's a lot. People might think I'm like 20 stone or something. Yeah,
I probably shouldn't be judging people.
no, it's funny.
Subconscious thing.
Cool, man. I haven't had McDonald's in a while now. I finished my wedding season, so I had my last wedding at the weekend. It was a friend's wedding as well, so it was a nice way of finishing, actually. What about you? Have you got many more to shoot this year?
I have one on Saturday, and then a handful. We've actually a busy December.
Oh, really?
Really nice, quiet November, and then a busy December, and then January, February is completely off, and then work. I say off from weddings, but then we've got doc day and
that's going to keep you busy. Isn't
Sorry,
it?
that wasn't a deliberate plug or trying to re-engineer the conversation.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I was going to ask anyway about has it been a different experience, organising Doc Day 2 now that you've got the first one under your belt? Has it been different?
Yeah. Now, so when we put together Doc Day 1, we decided we would put together Doc Day 2 at the same time, because the work wouldn't, it's not going to be double the work to a large extent. So we built the website, and we had the speakers lined up for the second Doc Day, and we sold tickets the day of, on the day itself. So at the end of the Doc Day, we played a little video and we announced not all the speakers, but some of the speakers.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, so a load of people bought tickets then already, which was great, because it meant then we could go in to Doc Day 2 with a much lesser workload. But it didn't work that way because of COVID. So obviously with postponements and the toing and froing of the date. And also I haven't really wanted to be selling to people, So the way it worked was Doc Day, it was in early February. The first Doc Day was in early February. And then kind of 3-4 weeks later, we were in lockdown. So we got in just before the whole pandemic thing kicked off.
That is lucky that way, isn't it? Imagine if your first one had been set for April or March, it would have been
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So we announced kind of most of the speakers and sold probably like 70% of capacity the following day type thing, or within the following few days. And then I just kind of let it sit there to a large extent, because I was getting Zoom and online overload from everything, and I didn't want to be another nuisance. Certainly selling to people when our incomes had all been cut off didn't seem like the right thing to do. And also my headspace wasn't in it. Nor was Annie's. We were both just, let's take it, kind of sit back from it. So it's been really good getting back into it and getting excited about it again. And I guess by the time this goes out in December, we said, it'll all be set up and good to go, and I'd imagine sold out on the basis that we only have a handful of tickets left.
If you're already now, so we're recording this in end of October. If you only got a handful left now, by the time your episode's out, it's going to be sold out probably anyway.
But what if it's not, though? And there's the exact same amount of tickets available, and then nobody buys any.
That must always be a fear. It must be so scary doing any kind of conference. But when you said like you sold like 70% or so after the first one, that must give you so much more confidence.
Yeah, it was cool. And so the plan was to go bigger for the second one. And we had, well, actually, I mean, it'll be, I guess, a little bit of old news by the time this goes out. But so we had, for example, we had Alex Webb booked. And there was, to be honest, no real reason to do that other than myself and Annie are just such massive fanboys. Probably a little bit more me than Annie. Not that she doesn't like him, but just in terms of childhood heroes,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So he was one of the... I was going to say he was one of the casualties of COVID, but I don't mean it that way. I mean it in terms of the Doc Day COVID issues. And so we decided we'd keep it along the same lines as last year in terms of numbers, and just keep it simple. And then who knows, Doc Day 3, if there is Doc Day 3, we'll make it a little bit bigger then,
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, it's such a great amount of number last year as well. It felt so busy. It felt awesome, man. It's so proper cool.
Busier as the day went on. Did you notice that?
Did it feel a lot busier as it went on?
I think everybody was there from the beginning, but I felt like by the end of the day, everybody was very much. I'm remembering pre-pandemic stuff. Everyone was on top of everyone, and
that's true.
Looking back on those photos from that day now is weird, because it was so close to when all this happened, but at the same time it was so alien in our minds. I think
that's true. Yeah, great photos that Simon Leclerc did as well of the.
He's promised to come back and do them to get the photos again, but I don't know now. He might be too big and famous.
I'll see him. He's coming to the TIR party. Oh, actually, when this episode comes out, the party would have been 3 days ago, actually. So I think I had a great party there.
I saw him give a talk at Learning to Fly a couple of weeks ago, and it was amazing. It was one of the best talks I've seen, and he's... I'm raging I'm not going to make the TIR party in December.
Oh man, it's a long way for you to...
Or maybe I'll turn up and surprise you.
Yeah, special guest. Special surprise guest. What was I going to say then? Oh yeah, because I was just thinking again. So this is coming out 3 days afterwards. I am really looking forward to the party, but I just get really nervous about that, and that's on we get about 100ish people, but it's still not a big conference like Doc Day. So I can't imagine the nerves on the morning that you must have felt on Doc Day though. Were you nervous? You didn't. You seemed cool.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did. Honestly, I didn't think you seemed nervous at all.
I was shitting myself. I was absolutely the night before. Neither of us really slept, And then it's such a busy, which is the only saving grace, is that it's such a busy day that you don't really have time to, I think, process exactly what's going on, you know. I suppose it's a bit like a wedding, right? You just get up and have a rough morning and then get on with the day.
That's true.
It's definitely more of an exciting nervousness than you know, I don't want to do this, I want to run a mile kind of nervousness, you know, because you know you're going to enjoy it at the end, especially with the party. And the way things are at the moment, I think that's more so than anything. This, you know, is just people getting together and seeing each other again, you know.
Oh yeah, of course, massive deal, isn't it? That's true. I was going to ask about, because obviously the second Doc Day 2 is obviously supposed to be in 2021. That must have been just it must have been mega stressful though, having to deal with that whole, having to rearrange as well.
Yeah, because we didn't know how far to push it out, you know. We were kind of looking at we were looking around, and we were looking at 9 dots, for example, and that's a tricky one. They were already, once they pushed out, I think they pushed them out kind of 3 months out from their date. We were looking at it kind of going, well, maybe we have 3 months to, if we let it go 3 months, we can make a decision then. But it didn't make any difference because, you know, things were changing so quickly.
Yeah.
And so, when we originally postponed it, and I'd been talking to you about this, will we take a chance were we talking about June, I think? We were trying to get it in just before the season. Imagine, like, thinking then that we could have run that conference in June.
It's mad now. Thinking of that now, isn't it, actually? Yeah.
No, not a hope, you know.
Mad.
Yeah.
But it's all come together. And you've got that beautiful date in 2022, though.
Yeah, and it's going to be really good. And it's I think by the time this comes out, like I said, it'll hopefully be sold out. But I'm expecting, and maybe this will be a good plug, if there was to be a plug, for, you know, if it is to be sold out. We're expecting quite a few people just a year that's in it to want to, that can't come. And so what we might do is put together a little cancellation list so that if people have forgotten about it as a date, or, you know, or they're so busy with weddings that Tuesday in February becomes booked up, that if you pop your name down in the cancellation list on the website, we can exchange tickets like that if anybody does want to come, you know.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea, man. And yeah, if it hasn't sold out for whatever reason, and someone's listening right now and is keen on coming, as they should do, I can't wait, man. I'm going to be there. My boots blacked again. Boots black. What? Where does that phrase come from?
Boots blacked.
It's what? Sorry.
But what was the phrase?
Oh, the phrase is that I'll be there. My boots blacked.
I've never heard that expression before. Does that mean polished?
Oh, maybe it does. That makes sense. I never polished my shoes, but yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I will polish them for Doc Day 2. Yeah, you're so right. It must mean that, polished. Yeah, that's true. Do you polish your shoes?
No, I don't. I'm wondering if I have shoes, but I do have shoes, but they're suit shoes. So I guess I kind of polish them when I wear my suit, which is about once every 3 years.
Right, yeah. What do you wear to weddings? Oh no, I'm totally segued off. Actually, let's go. Let's talk about what I was going to talk about first. Anyway, yeah. So if it hasn't sold out, you know, how tell people where do they go? Where do they get a ticket?
I'd suggest popping onto docday.international, the website, and if there are tickets available, they'll appear there as you can buy them directly. And if there's not, there'll be a little newsletter box where you can just pop in your name and email address for the cancellation list, and we'll get in touch. I'm sure there'll be a few tickets floating around that way. So one of those two ways might see you good for a ticket.
Perfect. Cool, man. And I know some other people who've been on the podcast are going to be there as well next year. So if you're liking this podcast, and hopefully you are, because you listen to this one, you'll get to see and talk to some past podcast people as well, and rib them about their awful Netflix knowledge, or their awesome Netflix knowledge in Kevin's case as well. So yeah. Oh, good, man.
Way too much time watching Netflix.
We're watching. What am I watching? Oh, we started to watch the 3rd season of Sex Education recently. It's so good. Have you ever seen that?
No, I didn't. And I really like your recommendations. You know, everyone has a few people who, when they recommend something, you just know it's going to be good. What was
that's
the thing? Oh, Cobra Kai. You put me onto Cobra Kai. Did you?
Oh, cool. Did you like that? Yeah, that's fun. Did you? Karate Kid is awesome, the original film. So.
Sorry, yeah.
No, but Cobra Kai series,
love
yeah,
that.
that's good. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but honestly, sex education is brilliant. It comes. I know it was advertised kind of initially. It looked a bit like, I don't know, like an American Pie or something, but it's got so much heart. I think everybody should. It's so good. It's so good, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm on that this evening after The Usual Suspects.
Oh yes, what's that? What was the talking about Dog Day again? What was the feedback like from attendees of the first one? You know, what was it? You must have heard people in the group, your group, and everything. What was it? What was it like getting that feedback? What was it like? Sorry, I just said what was it like about 4 times there, but you know.
It was really good. It was lovely. It was. You kind of wake up the next day with a slight hangover and exhausted. But then there's that kind of warm glow of kind of, seeing the lovely feedback coming in. A few people just randomly texting me or sending us messages on Facebook or whatever saying it was such a good day. And then I think I can't remember if it was in the Facebook group or an email, but we asked for feedback and then that came in really quickly as well. It was really, really, really positive. I think the only... And I don't know why I'd even need to find negative, but if the only negative I kind of felt was some people felt it was a long day of talks. But look, I think one way or the other, it's hard. Some people are there for one day, and other people are there for 3 days and have been traveling around and stuff. So it's hard to kind of get the pace right. But like 99%, even that person who said it was long, I don't think they would have changed anything, that kind of way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real, it was a real warm and cozy feeling.
That's so cool. That
days.
person who said about long talks, they're probably just talking about mine, actually. Probably thinking, Alan's dragged on, man. What's he talking about Dawson's Creek for? Oh, yeah, that's probably what they meant, really.
I think, do you know what it was? I think it was, we did a Q&A at the end. And I think we probably could have knocked that, and I think next year we're going to knock that on the head. I think people just wanted to get to the bar and have pints.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely did. I didn't want to be up there.
Is it pints or is it talks?
Yeah,
that guy was a pints guy.
That's funny. Yeah, I was nervous for that Q&A bit as well, man. Actually, I know it was very relaxed, but
yeah, it was awful. I could see the pressure because just. Imagine putting someone on the spot and not telling them what kind of questions you're going to ask them. A load of questions on.
What evil person does that?
Who could come up with such a thing?
Oh, that's true. This is my little bit of revenge, actually. Oh, it was worse when you had to follow someone who'd done a brilliant answer as well, and you had to think of something different, or yeah. Anyway, Kevin, let's slightly change subject, but although it's similar subject, but okay, I like this question. So, have you ever made any really memorable mistakes, whether that's in shooting or business or life or anything? Have you ever made any big mistake?
Oh, Jesus. The timing on that was impeccable. I don't know if you could hear it, but the little baby, 11-month-old in the other room, started screaming, crying.
Oh, no, I didn't actually. Yeah. Oh.
Not a mistake.
I was a mistake. My parents, I don't know why I'm saying this on the podcast, but I guess I say anything on the podcast. But yeah, I was a mistake. So I was going to say something quite crude then, but I was a total mistake. So yeah.
Say the crude thing, Al.
Well, my parents told me this. My mum said, "Yeah, you were the hole in the condom." That was, yeah, I know. That's what my mum said. Yeah, but sorry.
What age were you when she said that?
About 11, I think. Yeah. But she said I was a good mistake in the end. So I don't think she said the end bit in the end. She said I was good.
I'm the eldest of 5 kids.
Oh, wow.
And I have told every single one of my younger brothers and sisters that they're all either mistakes or adopted. I'm surprised your mother would say it to you.
That's funny.
Sorry, Alan, I don't want the answer to that question to be my 11-month-old, but I can't think of a different answer. So it works.
Should we skip on from that one? That's good that you can't think of something that instantly comes to mind. No, that's good. That means you're nailing
mistakes all the time, but I don't want any to talk about any mistakes that are going to ruin my career, or that'll get me in trouble. I mean, hang on.
No, it's good. As I've said before on the podcast, I've missed the first kiss. I missed the cake cutting once just because I was in my car and they just cut it during food and missed it.
I genuinely, I like it. that happens to me quite a bit, to the point where I wouldn't have even answered it as a big mistake. Kind of, I know I'm not that bad, but I do. I do make more mistakes than Annie does, but I tend to get away with them. If that's okay.
That's good. That's all that matters, isn't it? There we go. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, I was at a wedding, just doing the cocktail hour, just like normal stuff, and it was this odd kind of cement block thing that was like, it was like, I can't talk, but it's like descriptive, like descriptive patterns on it, like an art. Oh man, I can't even talk. Sorry, I can't even talk. But anyway, this massive thing fell and broke into like 4 pieces at this venue. And all the guests just looked at me and they didn't help or anything. I had to just try and put it back together and just like walk away. That was,
jeez. When was that? Recently?
No, that was a long time ago, probably about 6 years ago, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I think I have disaster stories, but I think I just put them into a compartment to my brain, or I don't access them for.
That is wise.
To save myself.
That's wise, man. No, it's wise. Cool. Okay, Kevin, we've almost reached an hour. So, see, this has flown by, isn't it? It's been fun.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it does fly, doesn't it?
I'm really curious to hear what you're going to put that we talked about into that intro.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I talked about very much.
Well, I think we've covered loads of things, actually. It's cool. And I will be seeing you soon when this is released. So I'll be seeing you in a few months, which I'm obviously very excited about, Doc Day 2. What are you most looking forward to about Doc Day 2?
Oh man, I mean the talks is an obvious answer, but to be honest, just being in the same room with everyone again and just being able to have chats and see people and pints and Jay's talk, the Richters. I've been talking to the Richters before Doc Day 1 went out, because like I said, we got in contact and Paul ended up doing a lot of the promotional stuff video wise for Doc Day. So I feel like I know, and they're such strong personalities. I can't wait to see them in real life, but also their talk.
That's cool. Yeah. Where are they based? Where are they from?
They're in Germany now, but I think they're from South America originally.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And who else on the bill? So it's York Place Studios as well, isn't it?
York Place Studios. I've been chatting to them. Obviously, huge fans. We saw them, was it 5 years ago, at a conference in Belfast, and we got to hang out and have chats, and they were the nicest of people. And so they were the first people we spoke to for Doc Day 2 was there, and Dom and Liam are huge influences to us. So that's it. Darren Kerwin's coming along, number 1, and he'll probably still be number 1 in February 22. He's just always at the top of that list. Cool. And I've seen him talk before. He's a super honest and straightforward kind of guy. He's also, by the way, just a side note, I was talking to somebody at Learning to Fly, and Darren's a super private kind of person. But he was telling me this. Actually, I know. Sorry, we're over the time, Al. So I won't.
Oh no, it's good. No, it's okay. No, tell me. No, honestly, this could go on long. It doesn't have to be.
Really nice story. This guy put out a thing on Facebook, kind of a shout out looking for help, and Darren, who's one of the busier, I know from the podcast he spoke to you about how many he shoots already. He shoots an awful lot of weddings and has his own family and things going on. Contacted this guy privately, completely off his own back, and was a huge resource to the guy. And that kind of stuff is just, just a real good guy. I think everyone knows what that means. He's just a good guy, and I haven't seen him for ages either. So, and Fabio. Fabio is a really good friend of mine. We ended up shooting his family, myself and Annie, after Doc Day last year.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, they came over, didn't they? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think Sylvia, Fabio's wife, spent a bit of time in Ireland, so they have a kind of connection here. So they took a few days out, and that was so good.
What a lineup of speakers, man, and all lovely people. A lot of them I spoke to on the podcast as well. So Fabio, I spoke to on the podcast, and Darren and Dom and Liam from York Place, and they're all lovely, great photographers and lovely people. So to be surrounded by them and to be hearing their knowledge and their experience, it's gonna be awesome.
Can't wait.
Man, it's going to be so good. And but just another question that came to mind though now. How many iterations of a name did you have for the conference? Did you initially think with Doc Day? Because that's just so cool. Or did you have like other ideas?
Yeah, well, we sat down and I didn't like it at all. It was Annie's idea, Doc Day.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it at all.
Really? Oh, it's great, Dog Day. Cool.
I know it makes perfect sense now in hindsight. But I don't know. For some reason, I had that film, is Al Pacino? I think it's Al Pacino, Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh right, no, not seen it, but
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you should look. It's really good. It's old school Al Pacino. I think it's Al Pacino. Yeah, it is Al Pacino. But I so anytime I heard Doc Day, I just heard Dog Day.
Yeah.
I just thought, So that was completely Annie. And she was like, no, I'm 100% right. Doc Day works. And it does.
It does.
Lots of kind of ways, yeah.
Yeah, she was right.
Already, someone, docday.com is already owned by, I think it's some kind of a medical conference or something. So they get every year they're going to get this weird influx of hashtags over their medical newsfeed.
That's funny. No, yeah, you're right, and she was right to veto you there. That is it's a perfect name, and honestly, just thank you for having this reportage involved. It's an honor to be involved in such an awesome event, and it's such a great idea of you guys to do it. So I love it. It's so cool, and I will be seeing you, dude, in a few months. I can't wait.
Can't wait, Al. Thanks so much for having me on, and thanks so much for what you do for the whole community and for these long editing sessions, having this podcast. I know it's an awful lot of work for you. It's so good to just be able to flick it on and listen to other people.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Also, man, you keep well. I hope the rest of your weddings go well this season. And see you in December for, I wish I could say Guinness, but I hate Guinness. So it'll be just a cider.
Cider. Cider at McDonald's.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's where I ended up at the end of Doc Day. It was like about 4 a.m. Oh, did you as well?
Well, no, halfway through, we took a few minute break between leaving the venue and going to the party, myself and Annie, and we snuck in and had a sneaky Big Mac.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. I approve. Cool. See you later, man. See you in February.
Take it easy. Thanks, Al.
Bye, man. Bye.
You've been listening to the 96th episode of the This Is Reportage podcast. Kevin was great to talk to. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Head to thisisreportage.com for a link to Kevin's website, and you'll also find a link there for Doc Day. There's just a few tickets left now for Doc Day 2022, and honestly, I can't recommend it enough. Kevin and Annie have created something really special there. TIR members get an exclusive discount on tickets too. Just check the members area to get the exclusive discount code. I'll be there in February 2022. Hopefully see you there too. We now have 96 episodes of the podcast available, where we speak to wedding and family photographers from all over the world, delve into our back catalogue to hear from the likes of Darren Kerwin, Ronan Palliser, Patrick Mattia, Gretchen Yost, Anna Puma, Rowena Meadows, Adam Johnson, Olivia Bolt, Alison Bounce, The Framers, Ross Harvey, Stephen Hareshaft, Else Corsten, and many more too. If you're not a member of This Reportage or This Reportage family, check out all the benefits of joining us, including an unlimited number of images on your profile, 60 individual award and 18 story award entries per year, invites to our physical meetups and parties, exclusive discounts, hours of educational videos featuring tips and advice from some of the world's best photographers, and much more. Entries are now open for our first award collections of 2022, where it will be the start of an all-new awards year. The deadline is the same for both our wedding site and our family site. Submit by 23:59 GMT on 24th of January 2022. If you'd like to be in our top 100 photographers or top storytellers list for 2022, you have the best chance if you submit to the first collection of the year. No poses, nothing staged. This is Reportage. And this is bye for now.